Hi, ladies. Good to see you. I'm so glad to be back in the group again Tuesday mornings so we can chat about all of your dating and relationship questions and problems and how is this all supposed to work? I know it's so confusing. So I'm really excited to be here. Hi, Ro. Thanks for joining me. So yeah, this topic, how do I get him to pursue me? It's really interesting, right? Um, it's such a big question, especially for like if you've not grown up in a culture and just been around the vibe of where that's expected and how that works. And you watch like a movie like Gone with the Wind, and like they had that culture back then where it was very, very clear women do not pursue men. And if you do, that's shameful. Hi. And it's not so much these days, right? Everyone's telling you like, oh, just ask him out, it's not a problem. And so I'm going to make an assumption that if you're interested in this question that you want to be pursued, right? So I'm not saying that anyone has to do this or you have to be sort of the one being chased, and you have to let him lead. Although I really do strongly believe that that's a wonderful way to have a relationship, and it works really, really well just because of the masculine and feminine polarity and just the natural um, propensities that we have as men and women, being sort of complementary opposites in energy and how that works with romance. So I do strongly advocate for it for this idea of being chased and pursued. But I'm not by any stretch of the imagination saying that there's only one right way to do things and you have to do it my way. But anyway, so I'm Leila Thomasone, and I am one of Mina's teacher trainees, and I'm so excited that she's giving me this opportunity to talk to you in the group. And I appreciate you all joining me, and I hope if you do have any questions, please ask, please post them, comment, and let me know what you're really like, what's like the hang up or the tough spot that you're going through in dating and relationships. And so I did want to say also, like, this is not necessarily only a question for single women either. Like, if you're married, you just like don't want to always be the one planning the dates um, and and like having to be in charge of all of that, and you want him to take his own initiative. Doesn't that feel so much different when he's doing things for you out of his own inclinations and his own initiative? So this is for married women too. And really, even if you start out your dating life with your future husband, with him pursuing you, it can get lost along the way, and I know how that can be. So anyway, just to get started, like I said, I'm assuming that you want a relationship where the man is leading and that you love that feeling, that juicy desire of him just craving you and wanting to spend time with you and wanting to please you and make you happy, and just anything he can do to brighten up your day, right? So he's trying to pursue you and escalate the relationship, and he just wants to spend, his life with you, and that feels so juicy, right? That's kind of the goal that we're talking about, those romantic gestures and the escalation of the relationship. So, so the first place I'd like to start is asking a question. I know I hear this all the time from women, that they're very empathetic, that they can feel the man's like mood and emotions, and their friends and their family, they pick up on that energy and they absorb it, and it really affects them, right? So ask yourself, do you feel empathetic? Do you feel like you have empathy for the man that you're interested in? And if so, do you know what his concerns are? Do you know what his biggest fears are in a relationship? Or what would make him not want to be in a relationship? What would be a negative about being in a relationship with you? So I don't know if anybody has any thoughts on that. If you'd like to go ahead and take a guess and type it in the comments. I would love to see if anyone can tell me what are men's biggest fears, or what is probably one of the biggest fears that a man has in getting into a relationship? If you have any thoughts on that, go ahead and type it. But I'll just go ahead and move on. So first of all, probably the main thing that is like kind of cliche that everyone can think of, that if a man's getting into a committed relationship, what he would be afraid of would be the woman letting herself go, right? Isn't that like the big thing that is like a cliche stereotype, that you get in a committed relationship or you get married and then you gain weight, you stop taking care of yourself, you stop dressing up nice, you stop going to the gym, eat like crap, that kind of thing. Ellie says, Rose says that the girl isn't who she seems to be. Yes, good one. And Ellie says the woman too in your masculine energy or loss of freedom. Yes, definitely. So like the nagging stereotype, like controlling him, trying to change him. Does any of that sound familiar? But that does also go right along with the woman not being who she seems to be. So it's like when you have this empathy for each other, you can accept that there are these that you want a partner who accepts you for who you are, right? And that you're not going to be signing up for a lifetime of being told that you're not good enough and that you are doing everything wrong and you should totally be different and you should do this and that, and like you're gonna be parented, you're gonna sign up for a mother in your marriage instead of a wife, or vice versa with a husband. So yeah, so those are big things that are on a guy's mind when he's dating, right? And he would probably be happier to just stay alone than have that happen. He'd rather just keep like playing the field, right? So if you accept him for who he really is, and hopefully you do if you're really interested in a relationship with someone, are you accepting him for who he really is? Hi, Penny. Hi, Darla. Thanks for joining. And isn't that super, super important that everyone's honest about who they are and accepting of the other partner for who they are, right? And so when that's the situation, then you really don't want to be pursuing him because he's going to feel like you're the leader and you're taking control, and maybe you want him to change, and you don't like how he's what kind of romantic gestures he's given you. Maybe his gifts aren't good enough for you, right? So we want to really prevent that by leaning back and really make sure that it's this anxiety, right? That you feel like I need to make sure that he does things right. And if I don't tell him what I want, then he's not going to do it. He's not going to know. But if you want that romantic relationship where he's pursuing you, then you have to lean back and be patient and let him do it. And to a certain degree, isn't that kind of surrendering, right? That's letting go of your destiny. It's not something you can determine. It's not something that, hi, it's not something that you have control over. All you have control over is yourself and your own behavior, your own standards. But you cannot dictate to anyone else. You can't dictate to the universe how your future is going to unfold. So there's this leaning back and needing to control your own anxiety, your own behaviors, right? If you're like, oh my God, is he going to ask me out this weekend? And then it gets to be Thursday and he hasn't asked you out, then are you going to have enough self-control to sit there and hang in there and let him ask you out, whether it's for the weekend or maybe it's for the next weekend, or maybe you need to go out with your girlfriends, you need to make plans. So these are some of the things that I talk with my clients about, that it's not just about, how pretty you are, how feminine you are, that you need to have sort of this grasp of your own life and your own self, that you're not clinging and needy just because you have a little twinge of anxiety and you don't know what he's going to do. And there's this mystery because you don't know how the relationship's going to unfold. And so that's, that's like a real maturity thing that, that you need to develop all the different parts of your own personality and your own life. You need to be, developing your self-care routines, developing your feminine friendships and support networks, and also really pursuing your interests and hobbies and passions that are just yours, because that's going to make you light up and make you attractive to whoever comes along. So what I'm saying is, you have to develop this control over yourself and this control over your own emotions. How is this sounding to everyone so far? Is this making sense? Can you see how it relates to your marriage, that this is important to start the relationship this way so that it also continues in marriage? And if it's slipped away a little bit, can you see how this would be helpful to the marriage to take care of yourself in that way and have control of your own anxiety and your own behavior, as opposed to trying to control him and the relationship? So is that making sense so far? So that was kind of like step one, is like lean back, take control of your own emotions and your own happiness. And Ellie says yes. Okay, good. And then so another part of that too, which I think this is really the hardest part for us, but if you're truly developing yourself, you're truly only having control over your own energy, your own emotions, your own space, then you're also going to need to accept that you can't control who picks you, that you don't have control over who you end up with in the end. If this is a dating situation, or even if it's marriage, if you're having trouble in your marriage and you're like, you want to fix it and you want to have that lifelong marriage that you've always dreamed of, there's a certain part of your own self-development that is going to cause or need a release of controlling whether you even get back together with your husband, whether you're even able to reconcile, whether he's even the right one. And Mina talks about this, where divorce is neutral, where if you think about what you want from the universe, you want to be loved and cared for, and you want to feel secure, you want to have a passionate, loving life and have the energy and light and fun that that makes you happy. Then you also need to accept that the universe will give that to you in whatever way is meant for you, and not in the way of, I know this is the right guy, I know he needs to be with me and we have to end up together, and what do I do to make that happen? So when you release that, that's going to be a critical step to inviting and attracting that juicy romantic relationship that you're looking for. So I hope that makes sense. I'm going to read some of these comments or questions now. So Rose says, keeping emotions in check and not letting it cloud me is a challenge once in a while, because I do just want to vent to him when I'm upset. Okay, yeah, that's a good question. So I would have to know more about the content of the message, what you're venting to him, and like how you're conveying, whether you're how you're letting him know that you're upset. So I'm not really sure exactly how that relates to him pursuing you. I guess maybe along the lines of like, well, maybe I just need like a direct question. I'll follow Mina's lead on that. Just ask me one direct question and I'll see if I can answer it. So Ellie says, how do you get him to want to commit when he's dating others without chasing him? Okay, great question. So again, we have to release the clinging need for that guy, that one guy, right? Does it matter if it's him, this one that you have in mind, or does it just matter that Oh, right. Ellie says, inspire him, I should say. Exactly. And hi, Reba. Yes, good correction. So yes, you want to inspire him. But again, a good big part of that is going to be letting go of the need for it to be him, and accept that the universe is going to give you that juicy romance that you want, and you don't know where it's going to come from or how it's going to come to you. And I have a feeling that's like the hardest step here, because we want to think that we know exactly, like, this guy, he's the one, he's the one, he's so amazing. Well, is he really that amazing if he's not going to take care of you? Like, you have to let him step up and make that commitment of his own desire. And so if he's dating other people, I'm sorry to say, but it's not looking that great. You really need to be dating other people so that you aren't feeling abandoned when he's dating others. And I don't know. I need to maybe know more about that to say for sure. I don't want to say that you can predict for sure that he's not the one. You just don't know. That's just as controlling as predicting that he is the one, right? So the point is to keep your desires open to the universe in how they are fulfilled for you. Ellie says, so keep options open, maybe dating others too. Absolutely. Absolutely. I highly, highly, highly recommend that you're always dating others until you get that commitment that he really wants to marry you, of like genuine, gigantic proportions. Like, it's not just like, okay, yeah, maybe we could give it a shot. Like, that's not the kind of commitment you want, right? Don't you want the juicy, romantic, passionate commitment? And if that has to come from someone else, so isn't he going to be amazing, that guy that does that for you? It doesn't have to be this one that you have in mind, right? And I know that's so hard to accept and to act on, but this is what I coach my clients on, is how to make that happen, and how to really raise your standards, and how raising your standards for how you want to be treated, it really does help you release the ones that aren't stepping up and doing that for you. It helps you not get attached. And like Mina says, that dating one person exclusively is like the worst way to get to know someone. So because you take on that clingy energy, and because it's like, yeah, you just get too invested, because you have a ticking window of time, right? And so the more time you spend with someone, the more heavily invested and bonded you get with them. It's just our feminine nature. And then it's harder and harder and harder to leave. And I swear to you, it is. I promise it does not get easier to leave the longer you're with someone. So don't fool yourself that way. And Ellie says, I understand 100%. Good. Rose says, no question. It's just something I'm working on. If I find myself getting upset, I step away from the situation and indulge in a self-care act and get myself to a higher vibration. Yes, wonderful. That's perfect. That's exactly what single and married women need to do. Don't you think? I mean, does it help a lot when you do that? Isn't it wonderful that you can come back in a totally different mindset, and his energy is going to be different. It's going to be completely transformed depending on how well you take care of yourself and make yourself happy. So I hope that single and dating women are hearing this loud and clear, that this does not change after you get married. It is just as important. So you might as well get used to it right now, right? So you might as well be very, very practiced and have this under control, so in your life, so that it's easy to be married to you. So it's easy for you to be married. So I hope that makes sense. Any other questions from what I've said so far? And just to let you know, so this is absolutely what I help my clients with. This is how, like, all the different aspects of your life that need attention in order to allow you to be accepting of whoever that amazing man is, and I'm not saying you're not lowering your standards to compromise and accept someone that is less than what you desire and deserve. Absolutely not. It's the opposite of that. But there's a lot of releasing and letting go of control, and letting go of judgment, a lot of patience that goes into allowing the universe to reveal that to you, and waiting for it to be revealed to you. And so all of the development of the other areas of your life that need attention, so that you are able to do that, because actually I'm saying patience, but it's more efficient. It happens faster if you have those aspects of your personality and your life under control. Is that's the way that you're actually going to get your soulmate showing up for you in the way that you desire the fastest, is if you can release those aspects of the process that you can't control. You don't know who's going to step up, and you can't make it happen in a certain timeline. You can only control your own behavior, and the more smooth energy, the calmer energy you have to keep your anxiety at bay. All of those aspects is what I work with my clients to do. And so I'm just going to drop a link here. Ellie says, should you be open with the guy that you're dating others, or keep quiet? Well, it depends on how you mean that that's coming out. So if he's asking you, absolutely be honest. If he's not asking you, and it kind of like he's just not concerned at all, and you don't need to like go talking about it, but you do need to be careful that that you're clear with your expectations and you're clear with your standards. So, for example, if you're asked, what does it take to be your boyfriend or be in a committed relationship with you, or what are you looking for in a committed relationship that's going to lead to marriage, then you would be honest with, I'm not going to commit to exclusivity until I know for sure that marriage is imminent. So I am going to wait for a proposal until I stop seeing other people. And that's just your standard. That's, hi Nina, thanks for joining me. I'm almost done. So, yeah, so Ellie was just asking about dating other people. And yes, this is definitely a huge part of the process that I teach, that I learned from Nina, is don't go through the girlfriend phase. There's no benefits in it for you, and be honest and upfront about that. But, oh, okay, so here's part of this formula that I haven't gone over yet, is reinforcing the romance and the gestures and the pursuit that you love receiving. So you're welcoming it, you're accepting, you're surrendered to what the universe is presenting to you, and then you're very, very, very appreciative. You're super, super grateful for what the universe provides and what you're given by a man who's pursuing you. So that reinforces the behavior that you're looking for and the romance that you love to receive into your life, if that makes sense. So I hope that, so that's huge. Guys are really, really repelled by ungrateful, spoiled, just like, I expect this and that, and you should, like dictating. It's kind of the same thing with the controlling. Like, you should be very, very grateful and appreciative whenever anything is given to you, even if it's not exactly what you wanted, or especially if it's not exactly what you wanted. I feel like that's kind of a test that guys bring to, like, oh, is she going to insist that every restaurant is like 4-star every time we go out to eat, or is she going to be happy, just as happy with a picnic or whatever? So so be ready for that too. and be really generous with your smiles and your gratitude. So that's the other part of the formula. So I'm just going to drop a link here for the main program that I'm just so excited to finally be rolling out and bringing to the world. Because Ellie says, praise them, praise them when they do good, a bit like you would with a child. Similar, yes. You want to reinforce the positive behavior that you're looking for, so that you can get more of it, so he knows that he did good, right? So anyway, I'm very excited to be bringing this program to the single ladies of the world who just are longing for that romantic and passionate love in their life that maybe they haven't ever seen, they haven't ever witnessed, they haven't ever gotten a grasp of. You probably have never actually witnessed it in your life. And that doesn't mean it's not possible. I am so confident it is possible that I actually guarantee it. So I guarantee that I will help you get engaged within the next 12 months with this program. And so I can't wait to help more women get engaged. A lot of my clients already have become engaged. And of course, this is the process that worked for me, more or less. I've also refined it since I've started. But yes, I am so confident that I go all in with my clients. And this is just where my passion is. And my husband, Derek, really, really encouraged me. And he was that mirror and showed me what I love and to do and what makes me happy in life when I would help other women with these with dating and relationship questions, and just holding your hand from one place to the other, from your single phase and not knowing how to even get started with dating, not having anyone in mind. A lot of people get confused. They think that they need to actually be dating someone specific before they get coaching to help them with their relationship. No, that is not the case. Like I said, I help with all aspects of your life that need to be developed and need attention, so that you're able to come to dating with the right energy that the universe can provide you with, that love and romance that you're looking for. Ellie says, woohoo, yes, woohoo. It's amazing. And I hope if any of you are dating, you'll take a look and think about how much it would mean to you to have that knowledge and that security of knowing that you will be engaged to your soulmate by this time next year. Like, how crazy would that be? How much would your life be different? And versus not having that guarantee and just muddling through as you have been, where will you be this time next year? Will you kind of essentially be in the same place? And we're all getting older, and this is what I hear from women, is that the biggest urgency they feel and the biggest like panic for them is having birthdays and getting older and going, oh no, I'm not any closer to finding my king than I was last year when I had my birthday. And so I'll actually give you a discount. I want to give you a gift. If it is your birth month, that I'll give you a 10% discount. I'm like super excited. I just want to help everyone. And yeah, so take a look at that link and please get in contact with me. We can meet up for just a free chat, just a free call to talk about what's going on in your life and what's, oh, Ellie says, I'm checking out, definitely. Awesome. Yay, I can't wait to meet you. Yeah, all you have to do is just book a 30-minute session with me and we'll talk and we'll figure it out and see how we can make this happen for you. So I can put that link here too to my calendar, and that's all you have to do. It's so easy to just schedule a time to talk. So I can't wait to see who I get to meet and who I get to help with finding their king. So that's the name of the program, Find Your King and Get the Ring. And you're going to empower yourself to attract your soulmate. And that's what I help women do. So thank you so much for joining me in Mina.